All right, you guys, we are live. David Fox here, the Black Belt Realtor with Synergy Realty Group, back at it again with a holiday Christmas edition of Keeping It Real Estate Podcast. My broker, Jordan Bobbitt. Jordan, how we doing today?
Doing great.
Did you moved on me. You're off center. Don't worry, I'll fix your camera, but you did move. And then we got, of course, Mr. Jerry Bobbitt. How we doing, Jerry?
Wonderful. Back from Florida.
Fantastic. That thing is barely fitting on your head, dog. Like,
Dude,
it's just on the tippy top.
You know,
I've got that big of a head, you know.
somebody called me an out-of-shape George Lopez.
I didn't call you that. I would never call you as such. All right. So we have a lot of Reddit rundowns to go over today. What do you guys got? Let's just kind of, get some formalities out of the way. What are you doing for Christmas? Anything fun? Anything big? Any earth-shattering news in the real estate realm, personally?
Personal? No. I mean, just got back from Florida. That was fun.
Yeah.
Beautiful weather.
Yeah, it was about when you posted, you were like, oh, it's been a minute. I got to get out. I was like, didn't they just come back from a cruise? I feel like they just come back from a cruise.
So we figured it out. And when I say we, I mean me. And 20 weeks. Was it 20 weeks?
It's not 20.
Yeah, what was? No, not 20 weeks.
How long he was out of town?
Yeah, it was 10. Sorry, it was half that. My bad.
10 weeks?
10 weeks.
I mean, that's still less than Europe. I mean, legit. Now, I'm not necessarily saying we want to aspire to be Europeans, but like they take 12. I think it's 12 weeks or something out of every single. Like it's a lot, dude. Like they're either because my brother-in-law works for a German machining company, and he's like, it's true that somebody is either getting ready to go on vacation, is on vacation, or just got back from vacation, and I don't know. They seem to be pretty happy. I don't know what the GPD is, or gross domestic product, but
GDP.
So we're hosting Thanksgiving, or we're hosting Christmas at our house. So we've got, my family dynamic is strange. We have two different sides. It's the tale of two cities. We've got a really rowdy Fox side, and then Amanda's household is they're pretty laid back, pretty chill.
Now, do you have them both over at the same time?
No, well, we have. It doesn't. It's like not like problematic, but it is. It's like strange. Like you can tell, like the
two cultures colliding.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is, man. You can tell, like my family is obnoxious. Like they are. They're just loud and obnoxious.
Really?
And
I wouldn't see that. Insert sarcasm.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So they're a little obnoxious, but yeah. So we're hosting.
I've heard stories about your dad. So.
Yeah. Have you ever met my father?
I've not.
Yeah, you guys would. I don't know. I think you'd be all right. I think you'd be all right. You would be able to just like let it. If I gave you enough warning, you'd be like, I'm just gonna let this guy.
Yeah,
just whatever.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, you've probably seen the pictures of the pot plant. Is that what I sent you? The pot plants he was growing.
You told me about it.
Oh, dude, these were huge. Like they're huge. Like they're all harvested now, but like I just go to my childhood home and I'm like walking because I go hunt there. There's like 8 or 9 huge pot plants out in their garden. And I was like, that's insane. Well, all right. So we've got, we're going to start talking about real estate now. Okay. So Jordan, you actually sent me this one. This is a great Reddit rundown. It says we lost a house because of our realtor. We had a house that we were set on viewing after viewing lots of houses for a month, which that's not a long time to hunt, right? Like I wish every client I had was a month.
I mean, it also depends too on how hard are you looking. I mean, because I've had clients that looked for a month and like, we need to move out. So we're looking at anything and everything. And I mean, you show them 10 houses a week. So by the time the month happens, you show them 30, 40 houses.
That's true.
Versus
That's true. Yeah.
The guy who's like, yeah, I've been looking for 2 years. Well, yeah, but I've shown you 10 houses in 2 years because we look at one every other month. So, I mean, it depends too on
how intentional you are.
Yeah.
Do you have, I don't mean to be a technical, because I seem to have several clients right now that they don't need to move, but they want to move. And one of which, I think I made a blog about this, their housing affordability we started working on them 2 years ago, and their budget was $250. And now they're looking at equivalent homes for like $350 or 325. Like, so their affordability has gone through the window, and they're a family of 6 now, living in a single wide. They may have a dog. I don't know. Like they're like they make good money. Like I think as a household, it's north of 120. And they just, they're like, yeah, I don't know. And I was like, okay, well, do what you want.
The money they've wasted the last 2 years.
Well, I think because I think
lot rent's got to be 6-7.
700. It's 700.
No, stop. I'm sorry for saying 6-7, but
no, it was intentional. No, their lot rent's $700, which is
gone.
That's insane to me.
It is.
That's insane for a trailer home. I'll be honest. I'll admit my ignorance. Before I got licensed, I didn't realize there was lot rent. I just thought that they bought the unit and then they got to stay there, like kind of like a free parking lot. Yeah, I legitimately, I was like, how would you know? I've never, owned a trailer park or a trailer home.
Yeah, dude, I actually went and looked. I won't say I looked at it. I did look at it online as an investment. Yeah. Is it?
You're not bothered. I kind of like it. It's adding some festivity. If you guys are
annoyed by
if you're noticing anything, I'm just hearing it. I actually now heard it in the chat. But keep going. I don't mind.
Yeah. So I actually did this past summer. Another investor friend that I work with said, "Hey man, what about a mobile home park?"
Probably good money in it, right?
Well, at $700 a pop, yeah. I mean, even if you just have something that's what would be considered smaller, 20, you're talking $14,000 a month.
Do they, and that's assuming that every tenant owns their trailer, right?
Correct, because a lot of times the person doesn't own their trailer. They rent the trailer from the trailer park.
How much is that?
It depends on the trailer. I mean, is it one from 1972 or is it one from 2025?
Gotcha.
Is it a single wide or is it a double wide?
I see.
So the rents varied. In this one, it was unfortunately more of a rundown one where the owners owned, I think, like 90% of the 30 that were in there. To me, for me, I'm more. I'm more hands off. I don't want something that's going to take that much time.
Sure.
That's just time.
Well, so they're paying $700 a month. So 7 times 12 is $8.5 grand a year. So they've spent $17,000
just in rents.
Just in lot fees.
Right. Do they own the trailer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe they own it. Yeah.
Okay, so that's like buying a used car, right? It's not going up in value.
Correct. Yeah. And they even asked me, they're like, "Can you help me sell it?" I was like, "No, that's exactly what I said. It's like that's like a used car license at that point. Like
it is.
I'm not licensed to.
You seriously go to Secretary of State with the person.
Oh, it's a legit chip.
No, it really
trailer.
is. It's a trailer. It comes on wheels. I'm not trying to, degrade. I'm just being real and saying you go to Secretary of State and you sign over the title like you do your car.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, so that they've been hunting for a month, and it sounds like aggressively, but we worked with our realtor to put an offer down in the house and went with what he recommended in our market. It was at asking price with a small concession, so not like we were trying to lowball it. We found out someone else placed an offer on the house the same night we did, after it had been on the market for multiple months. They ended up going with the other offer because it was a few thousand higher, and we were incredibly disappointed, obviously. Well, now that the house is off the market, and I can see who the buyer's agent is, I realized it's my current agent's wife. So it must have closed.
Yes.
Correct.
So it closed. Okay. That means that they were both putting offers in at the same house on the same night. And because we went with our agent's recommendation, we got beat out. Kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. So we knew we wouldn't be getting in the house from the start. His wife's client offered a tiny bit more than us. We only asked for the concessions because he told us to. Has anyone else had an experience like this? What would you recommend to do? Seems crazy. This is allowed to happen with their agency. That's tough, dude. We're going to start with Jerry.
Well, it does say on your buyer broker contracts, I can tell you at least ours does, to say that sometimes there is a conflict of interest, within a brokerage.
Sure.
We talked about this a little bit before we went live, and we had a little bit of different answers as well. Personally, what I said I would do if it was my wife doesn't have her license, but if she had her license and we were in this same situation, one of us would have bowed out. And by that, I mean we would have handed it off to somebody else within the office just for that one transaction and let my clients know, hey, my wife's got some clients that are potentially interested in this one as well.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to think that there's any kind of, backdoor shenanigans going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand you off to Dave. I don't want you to tell me anything about your terms, what you're offering, anything like that. It's between you and Dave on this one. Dave's a, legitimate guy. He's going to take care of you on this deal. It's not going to change our buyer broker contract. We're still within the same office, but let Dave deal with you on this one. And hopefully you guys get it, but I don't want to know the terms and conditions on this one.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. And you know what I will? I've learned a lot from you, Jerry. Is for your personality type, you're pretty risk averse. Like you don't really draw. You don't get even close to lines. Like in terms of anything that might approach a lawsuit, anything where you're
if it's ethics, I try to run from those. Well, kind of things,
I mean, this is
depending.
So I'll play the devil's advocate on this situation because my first question was, are they in the same brokerage? Because that was, and if they're in the same brokerage, is there a do we know that they knew about the other deal? I know husbands and wives who don't talk. They just don't talk, right?
Well, and I'll use Sherry as an example, right? Yeah. Sherry's sister bought a house. My cousins have purchased homes. Mm-hmm. And we're like at family events, and they're like, oh, we love the new house. And Sherry's like, you didn't use Jerry? They're like, well, yeah, Jerry sold us the house. He never told you? No, I don't. That's none of her business. So I don't tell Sherry, right? But I can tell you, I always look at things perception-wise. What is the general public going to think? What would an attorney think?
The optics.
What would a judge think?
The optics of it.
If this ends up in court, how am I going to look? And nobody would ever believe.
Have you ever gotten to the point of getting? I know you've had some frivolous lawsuits that went nowhere. But have you ever gotten to the point of getting in front of a judge?
On a personal level,
just in real. We'll keep it real estate.
I mean, when I say personal, I meant with dealing with real estate. Yeah, as a broker, I did one time with an agent who felt that I treated her wrongly, and that one was kind of comical because I showed the judge our contract, and what happened was I released her from her contract to go work with somebody else.
Sure,
and I did more than what my contract stated I needed to do because in the state of Michigan, the broker owns, quote unquote, owns everything.
Yeah.
Right? So if you've got 15 listings as an agent, those are mine as a broker.
Live?
Yes. Those are all mine. You can't take them with you.
Listings, not yours. As an individual.
So you have to remember.
I guess that makes sense.
Right. So when you get your listing, you're listing with your broker, Synergy Realty Group. Dave is the agent.
Synergy Realty Group on Allen Road in Woodhaven.
That's right. In case you didn't know.
So
22001.
Okay, how'd you handle it?
So what I did was, anything that's with me is mine.
Yeah.
Any of your pendings that have not closed are mine. Mm-hmm. Our contract stated that exactly what I just said. Anything pending would be treated on a 50-50 basis. Commission structure.
Yeah.
So they would get half, I would get half. And the reason for that is now that you are no longer part of Synergy Realty Group, who has to handle all your files? Who does it fall on? It all falls on me now, right? So now I've got to go through and I'm the one doing all the work. So it's not what you used to make. It's the split now is more of a even 50-50.
Sure.
With those.
Sure.
What I did with this individual was I said anything pending, which wasn't a ton, I'm going to go ahead and do the 50-50. You have, and I'm not joking, she had like 9 or 12 listings. And this was 15 years ago. I figured it out. It was like $60,000 worth of commissions that I was letting her just take. That legally I didn't have to let her take any.
You were letting her take those to listings. The new brokerage?
Yep, I didn't even care.
That's more than fair.
And that's what I said. You know what? You just take all your listings. I don't even care. But anything that is pending here, you're going to keep here, and we're just going to split those 50-50. I thought that was more than fair, since I could have taken everything. We go to the court. Judge looks at everything. I let him know. And unfortunately, a lot of judges don't even know laws. And that's just, it is what it is there. So the judge didn't even know that legally these are mine. This isn't Jerry's law. This is the state law that your listings, your pendings stay with your broker. So after educating him on that, he looks at her and says, it's pretty clear he was more than fair with you. Why do you think he owes you more? She's like, well, I just think he does. And he looks down. Seriously, he just looks down at my contract and he looks back up. He goes, just pay the lady. I said, but the contract.
The judge said that?
Yeah. He said, just pay her. I said, but the contract's clear. I was more than fair with her. I let her take like $60,000 worth of commissions, and now you're wanting me to pay her more money on the 50-50?
How much are we talking?
It wasn't a ton. It really wasn't. And I want to say it was like $3,000. But to me, it was more the principle of it.
I firmly agree. Yeah.
It was just the principle of it. And his comment was, maybe you need to have your contracts rewritten. Well, if you know me, I didn't take that, sitting down. What I said was, well, that's funny because the attorney that wrote this contract you go golfing with on a weekly basis because his office is about a mile down the road. And I know you know him on a personal level.
What was this? Is that Wayne County? Yeah. That's what
it was in Woodhaven.
Oh my gosh. What did he say?
He slammed his gavel down 2 or 3 times and said, another word out of you and I'm going to hold you in contempt. And so I had to say one more word, of course. I just said, wow. And turned around and walked out. Paid my $3,000. So
that's filthy.
To me, it was a learning experience. And this is what, and you can tell, you probably already know what I'm going to say. Every agent's going to tell you what I say is, listen,
stupid.
Keep it simple, stupid, right? But 2,
when in doubt, right?
Yeah.
If I end up in court, I've already lost.
Yeah.
Because there's another situation where I spent upwards of $10,000 on legal fees.
Yeah.
And then had to pay another $2,500 for it to go away, quote unquote. And I'm like, I'm not paying a nickel. I didn't do it. No. And my attorney just said, Jerry, you're going to pay it. And I'm like, no, I'm not. He's like, well, it's not that you're admitting guilt. It's with cause, which, for anybody that doesn't know, with cause means you're not admitting guilt. It's in your favor. They can never come back again, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing on your record, whatever. But to me, that wasn't even good enough. I wasn't going to pay anything. And so we walked out. This was in the arbitration, but I didn't get in front of the arbitrator. I literally didn't get my coat off. It was in dead of winter. And Sherry and I were downtown Detroit. We were going to go with an arbitrator. My attorney comes in, who was an ex-judge. He's like, I'm going to go back in the back, Jerry. He's like, go sit down. I'll call you when I need you. I said, okay, great. Sherry walk over. We, go to the little Keurig, make our coffee. I go take my coat off. I go to sit down, and he comes back out and goes, okay, we're done. Let's go. I'm like, I didn't even get to go see the arbitrator. What do you mean we're done?
Right.
He's like, we're done. You're just going to write him a $2,500 check. We're good. I'm like, and this is where we started talking. I'm like, what do you mean $2,500? I'm not paying $2,500. He said, Jerry, you're not admitting guilt. But if you go in front of a judge and a judge knows that they offered you a $2,500 just to go away, and this is what my attorney says, they're going to look at it as you're just interrupting their day. And it's a nuisance. And they're not going to look favorably on you just because you didn't pay the $2,500.
Interesting.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? I said, I'm not paying it. So I get in the car. We start driving home. Sherry and I are talking. And my attorney calls me. He's like, Jerry, listen, I'm just being real. Pay the $2,500 because I'm going to charge you $5,000 just to get ready for court.
There you go.
And I said, I'm not paying it. Hung up. So Sherry and I are having our little discussion again. And Sherry's just like, pay the $2,500. So I paid the $2,500.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, and that's difficult, right? Because I agree with you. It's a principle thing.
Yeah. Well, they started off with like $70,000 they wanted from me, and it was funny because
just pay it, dude. Like, wow, how much is your time? I understand, but you can't like.
Dude, if it's my quarter, it's my quarter. I don't care.
Remember how he goes back to the Cheeps, or like we were talking about the Cheap, and he takes after my grandpa? Let me tell you a story about my grandpa really quick, okay?
And I know how cheap Jerry is. He had to
This was
panhandle.
This just happened last month. Last month.
You're gonna be shocked when you hear it. Okay. So my grandpa gets something in the mail. Or no, what happened?
So what happened was my dad had a CD come due.
That's what it was.
And so the CD was due.
An investment?
Yep, he had a 12-month CD come due. He went in, and he was moving it. So he needed a check from the bank.
Yeah.
So they give him the check. He goes to another bank because they have a higher rate. He gets it deposited there. But then he does his math, and I'll just use small numbers. The number was like $100.01.
They were off by 1 cent.
One penny. It should have been $100.02.
He drove back up to the bank once he got home and
for his penny.
Yeah, I need my penny.
This is your father?
Now you see where he gets it from.
A penny. No. I said, Dad, you wasted more in gas and time.
You wasted more in gas and time.
But to him, it was the principle of it. It was my penny. I disagree 100%. I would never do that.
Well, maybe not. I mean, maybe how old's your dad? Yeah, maybe when 80-year-old Jerry will do it. Like, I'm going to get my penny.
He doesn't have anything else to do, so he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go back."
Dude. What I would love to see the clerk who's like, like this guy's here for his penny. Like at this point, here's a dime. Get out of my window.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
The problem is, especially with like him, is he complains about everything, but he gets it, so he's going to continue complaining.
It's rewarding bad behavior.
Yeah, I mean, you go to Meijer.
I know the type.
And you don't have Pepsi. You haven't had Pepsi the last 2 times I came here, and it's been on sale. No
it's a
joke.
Conspiracy.
No joke. The manager goes and grabs like a pallet out of the back and says, "How many do you want?" And he got it for free. And so
for free.
No, for free. No. Gave him like 5 Pepsi 2 liters and was like, "Here you go. Sorry for the inconvenience." No. So what is my grandpa gonna do now? Complain and do that crap more. Irritates the ever living crap out of me.
I don't respond well. Like with the gym. First off, the customer is not always right. Like, so whoever came up with that was probably a customer somewhere. They certainly weren't the business owner. Secondly, like, over the Pepsi thing, I'll be like, tell you what, sir, I can't help. Sometimes I'll go get you some, my man, whatever. Like the approach matters too. How you're approaching me. If it's like,
sure.
Hey, you know what? Like, I've come here a few times. I came up just for the Pepsi. Can you go check? Yeah, for sure, dude.
If you knew my grandpa, that's not his response.
Well, then your grandpa and I might not get along.
No, my grandpa, knowing him...
He just canceled his, what was it? It wasn't Comcast.
No, DirecTV. He canceled his DirecTV, and now he just has a satellite disc on the top of his...
No, he doesn't. He doesn't even have satellite. Oh, yeah, no, it's just regular antenna.
Yeah, he put an antenna, sorry.
Yeah, just
an antenna. No Wi-Fi. No, he won't even get internet because it's a waste of $30 a month, $40 a month, whatever.
Where's he getting internet for $30?
He doesn't.
No,
pay. I'm talking about even if he had the basic, like just the base.
I would love internet for $30 a month.
No, you wouldn't.
Right. Well, true. Valid. All right. So we have successfully derailed the daylights out of this one, which is fine. It's Christmas time. Who cares? So all right. So you're trying to stay out of court because of the optics of it.
Yeah.
Jordan, what are you doing?
It depends. So one, have I already talked to the spouse, whatever, about what their offer is? If I know what their offer is, you
don't even know that. I'm just thinking if they don't talk and you don't know, and
then
you get this suit.
Perfect example is,
if they don't talk
if they don't talk,
and then you get this suit.
How can...
Again, it's all about what do you think's going to sit... When this is going to go to court now, right? You're going to sit in front of a judge, and you're going to say, "No, Your Honor, I never told my wife that I was writing a $400,000 offer, and then I was going to get a $12,000 commission. We never spoke about that."
I don't tell Amanda the details.
I don't tell
Amanda. But Amanda's not in real estate.
Yeah.
Right? So if she was, and you're working in the same office, and she's sitting right next to you in a different desk, you're going to tell me that you're not? And most, if not all, husband-wife real estate people, they're on the same real estate team.
Yeah,
it's a team.
Yeah. No,
you're going to get paid on the same check.
That's a totally,
Dude, there's no freaking way you're going to sit in front of a judge and say, "Oh, I didn't tell my wife." you lost.
Yeah.
You lost.
Again,
So what's the recourse here?
A lawsuit,
Yeah.
probably. I mean, that. I mean, they could. God only
Let
knows.
me see what happens here. It says, time for a new realtor. Report it to the supervising agency. F that. Report it to the state agency. So if your agent has told you to offer more. So if your agent had told you to offer more because he knew that his wife's client was offering, then that's poor English. You'd have had your offer accepted. Wouldn't this put the other offer in the exact same situation you are now saying was
Exactly.
sketchy?
well,
Yeah.
that's where. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Someone should needed to wash their hands of this one because no one's going to come out smelling pretty
Plot
if you don't.
thickens.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
somebody just needed to clean their hands.
Valid. That's valid. Fire them and file a complaint. This is a lot to unpack in the OP's comment. That's okay. So Jerry's comment wins. All right. Jordan's does too, of course, because you.
Well,
had
except
the
I'm
same-
saying no. I was saying if I never talked to. Well, if
He
I
puts
didn't,
me at liability.
no.
That's
I'm saying that. Well, one, I don't have a wife, so it's hard for me to imagine whatever.
back to.
No. But what I was saying was, I can know. Yeah, I'm not even going to dignify that with a conversation. I can know that you're writing an offer on that house.
We're just gonna start having. We should just start bringing in like female guests
Oh,
just to
dude.
sit and spectate, and then afterwards be like, "All right, so guest number, what did we think of? Is this something we'd want to pursue?" Dude,
No.
Jordan would quickly stop showing up.
He would.
He would be like, "No, you can take Josh, dude."
But no, I mean, if I haven't talked to them about the offer, then I can know. Like, perfect example is I'll use Jerry. If I know he's writing an offer on your listing and I'm writing an offer on your listing, if I don't know jack about his buyer and he doesn't know jack about my buyer, is I would disclose, hey, there's two agencies. I know nothing about his offer. We know nothing. So I'm just going to tell you how I normally would. Now, if Jerry told me, hey, I've got a conventional buyer and we're going, they've got money. We're putting 20% down and we're doing all of this. And now I'm going to write that offer. Now that's where I'd probably go back and say, hey, we need to, separate because I know too much about that.
So what would you do in that situation then? Because like I'm just thinking from a brokerage level. If I know and I learn details about your buyer and your offer, and I can advise my client to outbid your client, but now the brokerage is at risk of unethical behavior. Do I then have to refer out to a blind, ignorant agent who doesn't know anything about it?
Yeah, I would try to find an agent that I know and respected, and wanted to pass that off to, which everybody at the office, because it's our office, and just say, hey, do you know anything about Jerry's buyer or anything? What, kind of like what he was saying earlier,
And make sure that agent doesn't have.
Well, that's what I'm saying,
as
and
well.
Yeah.
Well, you'd be surprised. I mean, if you've
Yeah.
got a house, I mean, there's plenty of times where, we're in the office talking, and hey, I'm going to go show this house. Oh, so am I.
I have shown.
We're not talking anymore.
I haven't gotten in this situation, but I have shown houses with synergy cards left there, which is another stupid ritual that I think should just go away. Especially if the house is vacant. Like, why am I leaving my card here, dude? Like
Before-
if it's occupied, that makes sense. If it's unoccupied.
I think it's one of those traditions that just people don't even care to talk about, so it just keeps happening because everyone's like, yeah, whatever.
I don't leave them at vacant houses. Why? Like, so we're just going to
think-
accumulate
I think
occupied houses. I agree. Occupied, I agree. But
I
like
think
vacant,
they were there, or the original intent was to show that the agent was there, because when you didn't have showing time and you didn't have everything else, it was just, how do you know the agent was there? How do you know anything?
Yeah. 35 years ago, we had 5 carbon sheets for a purchase agreement.
I know. All right. So next Reddit rundown. We did it. You got a picture of this. Let me see. Can I add this picture? Can I easily add this picture? It's always a question. It's like I have to relearn this software each time. Hang on, y'all. Let's see. Anyway, we did it. $640,000 at 5.99% in Michigan. Congrats from one. The picture would, I think, add a lot of context to it. First home he bought in Michigan for $640,000.
Do we need to see the picture?
So, I mean, it's just, I can show you. I'll put it on the screen. Where do you think they're at in Michigan?
I would say Bloomfield.
I'm going to say, I was going to say Farmington or Bloomfield. In fact, I think I showed in this. This looks like a neighborhood that I showed at.
That could be any downriver community.
Yeah,
For
for
600?
640?
Oh, for 640. I apologize. I'm just looking at the house, not the price.
Well, yeah, no, that was the point. For 640, you've got to be somewhere up in Bloomfield,
be
Rochester. If you're on the water, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be Grosio.
If you're on the water,
It could be Grosio. I didn't think about that. So, what's your sentiment of a first-time home buyer spending $640 on their first house?
if you can afford it.
Yeah.
What do they make? How much are they putting down? What's their debt to income ratios?
Yeah. looks like he put 20% down.
Okay,
It
so
sounds like he's got his finances somewhat in order.
yeah. He didn't say what he was making.
No.
Making $60,000.
I know, right?
No. This house is for ants. It's $25K. That's at least $25K a year on interest for 20 or 30 years. I don't understand why you would pay $1 million for a $640K home.
Because in 30 years it's going to be worth 1.8.
Clowns.
And you're renting your house over 30
And he's
years.
still renting.
Yeah.
Yeah. 30 years later, they're still renting.
Yeah, it's always the renters, dude, who have that like the most to say. It's a bucket of crabs on Reddit a little bit, which is why we go here. Well,
Keeps things entertaining.
yeah, I gotta bust this up, man.
So what's his question?
So the question was, I think that was the question overall was, is this house worth
That's stupid.
640? Because he just spent
I mean,
almost $350,000 on a house, and
I mean, you got a good interest rate at
starter
least.
home. He did
5.9. I mean,
yeah,
that's
5.9.
decent.
Yeah.
For this market.
What would you? I guess this is one where I do wonder how old he is.
are you looking for a pat on the back?
Yeah, I think he's just
A good boy?
I think he was just attaboy. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the average age of a first-time home buyer now in the most recent study was 40 years old. It's the highest it's ever been in America's history.
is that true?
No.
Yeah. There was
That can't be true.
No.
Yeah,
40 years old?
40
I'm gonna be
years old.
Jordan.
Yeah,
go ahead.
like pull it up. Get Grok on here. Do you use Grok at all?
No, I don't have Twitter. Or X.
It's
whatever you
it's an
call it.
app. It's
Oh,
just a separate app. Yeah, I gotta find. So the average home buyer is 40 years old.
first time
First
home buyer.
time home buyer is 40 years old. That's a travesty.
It is the highest it's ever been. I'm trying to get the
Shut the front door.
according to the
Is it
NAR.
really?
Yeah,
Is it?
median
The
age.
average median age for first-time home buyer in 2025 reached a record high of 40 years old, up from 38 in 2024, primarily due to high rents, student loan debt, lack of affordable housing, and rising living costs of living, making it difficult for younger generations to save for down payments and enter the market. I think another thing is they don't get married as young as they used to. You have a lot of older
The
people.
average, what is it now, Jordan? 30?
For marriage, I have no idea.
I think it's 30. I mean, it
I
was
tried
30.
not to think about that.
You know, trying to think about 30 about
Maybe you
marriage.
should.
Yeah.
No.
It was 30 when I was checking out a few years ago. Well, because you're not expected to contribute to society till you're about 26, 25, 26. I mean, we've kind of normalized an education system where you are perpetually, quote unquote, a student till you're like 25. And then you've got
21,
then you
22,
got,
you
then
graduate,
you got 200
yeah.
grand in college debt or student loan debt, interest accruing, unforgivable. That's crazy. That's unforgivable.
Well, I think the biggest thing again, totally different topic, but for student loans, if they're, when you think about it, it shouldn't be interest, especially if they're government loans.
30. Average age is 30 for men and 28 and a half for women.
Which makes sense. It's
Yeah.
lower, but because I was just watching something on that, and they said that the benefit would far outweigh the interest, because now you've got people that are actually able to pay off their loans and move on with their life. Instead, you've got somebody who's got $100,000 in debt and college loans at a 15% or whatever interest rate, and they're paying their minimums off for 40 years, and they still owe
40 years,
more than what they
Absolutely. All right, so next question. Is buying a home really this miserable? Just a small rant, I suppose. Please be kind. I'm emotionally fried from this house hunt we are buying in Michigan, looking all over the southern half of the state and already apparently at a disadvantage being FHA buyers, which I had no idea was a thing, and asking for concessions, not the max. Been hitting it hard for about a month. Was this the same buyer? But made 6 offers. One was I gotta check. Is it the same?
No, I don't think so.
No, different one. Okay. One was accepted-ish, refused to pay buyer's agent commission.
So there was no acceptance.
Refused to negotiate when it appraised lower and cussed out my agent.
So it must have been accepted if it appraised lower.
Three, we flat out didn't get a response. One, very polite denial, and one that now says we are the front runner, but there's a competing offer that was going to be sent to us, but was not sent, and now their agent has ghosted us, and we have no clue what's going on. Even my agent and broker have reached out multiple times. Oof. I feel like Jerry would be on the freaking war path. I feel like everyone I've talked to who has bought a home in the last 10 years and not out of generational wealth by any means has told me it shouldn't be this hard. Just very defeated right now. Tired of renting and ready to get my kiddos their own home to live in. Let's start with Jordan and then we'll go to Jerry.
I mean, that's I don't want to say that's the average experience of a buyer, but it's a seller's market. It's not as big of a seller's market as it has been the past 5 years, but it's still a seller's market. You're going to be getting into some competition, and I think that's why it's so important ahead of time to let people know what the market's like. Hey, we're going to look at some houses. You're probably going to find some that you like. Maybe not, but there's been plenty of times where it takes some time where we write 5-10 offers for somebody before we actually get into a house, especially if they're, again, an FHA that needs concessions. You're going to get beat out by the conventional offer that doesn't need concessions 99% of the time. I mean, there's other factors that go in, but if you have 2 identical offers, one's conventional, one's FHA, 9 times out of 10, they're going to go with a conventional offer because they don't have that extra inspection, and conventional is typically viewed as a stronger offer. Now, people argue about that all day long, but that's just how it is.
I will say, because FHA's got a bad rap, and it is, I don't know if it holds up to the stigma that it has. Like, it's from what I new agent, right? A couple of years. We had just had a client close on, where was it, Redford, and Grandpa came through and he's like, FHA is going to make you seal. And he had a list and I was like, I don't think so. I was surprised they didn't even mandate a railing because the stairs had no railing. But they didn't have any. I don't think they had any repairs. And there was a couple where I was like, I don't know, it could have been.
Because I had a listing earlier this year in Southgate, and it was FHA, and it's the little things, but they add up, especially in a transaction, and people just don't want to deal with that little extra headache because it was the listing, or our listing, and it was an older couple who lived there, and there was 4 small stupid repairs. But when you're talking about the sellers are 80 years old and they're on walkers and canes. They can't just go paint the deck outside. They can't go paint the basement wall because there's a crack and you don't like that there's a crack and it needs to be covered. And it's a bunch of stupid little things. And now you've got some mortgage companies that push the re-inspection as part of the agent's job to save the buyer some money. Well, then I had the mortgage company calling me as a listing agent saying, hey, you need to go over there with our app, video the home so we can see that the repairs are done. And I kind of laughed at him. I said, well, one, you can call the buyer's agent for this. That's not my responsibility. But now the buyer's agent who lives 30 minutes away, it takes him a week to get down there because that's his only free time. And now we've just, I mean, it's like I said, it's just constant little headaches where if that was a conventional, we wouldn't have had to deal with any of that. My buyer wouldn't have had to been out a couple $100. He wouldn't have had the headache, or not my buyer, my seller. You know, he wouldn't have had the headache of hiring somebody to do these small repairs. We wouldn't have had to wait for the FHA reinspection to be done. And it's just the little things that they don't cause a problem. And I mean, transaction closed, everything was fine, you know, no complaints. But those little hiccups just create bad taste in people's mouth, and they're like, this is stupid. I want to.
Yeah, I mean, it's an extra step, right? It's an extra step, and it can create a thing. But I just, I think they've got sounds like they've got a little bit of a. Oh, I haven't experienced. Sure. I haven't experienced it. What do you think?
For me, it depends on the scenario, and this is why I think it's really, really important to have a real estate agent, whether you're selling or buying.
Yeah,
because
that's true. Yeah.
These little. And they're just little hiccups. They're almost normal, right? So for us, it's not that big of a deal. Yep. Yeah. But for a homeowner, if you can imagine who doesn't know what is going to be expected, what happens when I hit these hiccups, whose responsibility is it? Who's going to pay for it? How much time do I have to get it done? Do I have to have a reinspection? What happens if it doesn't pass a reinspection? Who pays for the reinspection? What about a city inspection? Now this is interfering with our closing date. What happens about occupancy? All of those things that we just deal with. We already know that those have to be dealt with.
They're to be expected.
Right?
Yeah, you expect them.
So do I steer away from FHA, VA? Well, it depends. Do I have another offer that's more palatable?
Right, sure.
You know, because if my only offer is an FHA, it depends. Is my seller an estate? Is it a divorce? Because who's going to do the repairs? If it's an estate, who's going to do the repairs? If it's a divorce, neither party wants to do the repairs. So again, it just depends on my seller's situation. Like Jordan said, are they elderly? Is it somebody that's not handy? You know, am I already in my head knowing this is going to need concrete? This is going to need a new roof? I'm going to steer away from an FHA as much as I can in those situations. If the house is in pristine condition, it might be older, right? I don't care if it's got shag carpeting from 1975.
Yeah.
But as long as it doesn't have the peeling paint and exposed electrical and cracked concrete, the major things that FHA and VA would look for,
sure.
I might tell my seller, hey, you know what? I think it's worth it. We'll put a cap on repairs. You know, we can negotiate repairs. And when I say negotiate, let me be clear and let me say this right now. For all of you agents out there that put FHA terms on a house that cannot go FHA, get out of the business. Can I say that to you one more time? I'm tired of finding houses that have FHA on there, and then they say, well, my seller won't do FHA repairs. Well, Mr. Professional, how do you expect them to get done? Because you can't assume them and do them after closing. FHA and VA required to get done prior to closing. And if your seller's not going to do it, who's going to do it? My buyer?
Who doesn't own the house
Who doesn't own the house, who could slip and fall and then sue your client because you're not looking out for their fiduciary duty? Yeah, right? So there's things that, you know, people just need to be aware of when they're looking, because a lot of times you'll see FHA repairs on there when the house has no business going FHA or VA, because FHA and VA look for pretty much the same thing.
And correct me if I'm wrong here. You, especially in a multiple offer situation, you should always be prepared to be able to justify and support your decision for why you went for one offer over another. Again, just in the case of, because we don't know the buyers. We don't know, like we can see a buyer's name, but you don't want any cause for any type of lawsuit of discrimination against any protected class or whatever. So then if you're like, well, let's say all things equal, everything else equal, conventional FHA.
Nothing's ever equal. And the reason I say that, Dave, because everybody has a different position. And when I say that, even if I've got two cash offers, right, are both cash immediately available? Is the cash deal still contingent upon the sale of that home in order to have the cash? Is it coming from a lawsuit? I mean, we've got one right now. Scott's got a deal, and this guy's been waiting on his money from a business transaction for like 6 months. It's $1 million.
Commercial?
It's $1 million. No, it's a residential. And so but this is my point, right? So he's got it. He's paying cash, but he doesn't have it. The attorneys are saying, oh, he's going to get it. He just doesn't have it yet. We're still trying to get it, but it's already done. It's a done deal. We're just waiting on the money. So every situation's a little bit different. You know, even if you have to remember, every seller, even though the dollar amount might be the same, they might be giving free occupancy after closing. They might be giving a delay.
Those things are not equal. Like I'm saying if all of that is, because how do you find out where I mean, do you go so far as to, like, let's say you get, okay, cash is different because cash now the mortgage type is out the window, right? So, but like if you get 2 cash offers, are you going to say where's the cash coming from?
Absolutely.
Or show
proof of funds.
Well, I want proof of funds.
Because if you make a cash offer and he doesn't have proof of funds, is Scott under contract with that?
Yeah. But they all knew. Everybody knew, and Scott was very Scott's been very transparent.
What's the sale price?
It's like $1 million.
Is that maybe that's why? Is because
and so Scott was very transparent, you know, and even had the listing agent call the attorney direct. And I told him, hey, listen, if I'm on the other side, you need to be as open as you can with me if you expect me to take this offer.
Scott's the listing agent?
Selling agent.
Selling.
Yeah, the buyer's agent.
Okay.
So,
for the record, selling means the buyer.
Buyer, which can be confusing if you're not in the business. Yeah. And if it's a mortgage, every mortgage is totally different.
Yeah.
One buyer might have a different...
Who it's through makes a difference.
Right, and who it's through. And I was going to get there next. But even you have 2 buyers, those buyers don't make the exact same dollar amount. One buyer makes more than the other. One might have more debt to income. One might have a higher credit score. One might be putting a little bit more down. One might have a little bit more reserve. So there's a lot behind the scenes that I need to find out, even though people think, oh, they're both $300,000 offers. Yeah, one might be going through, and I won't say the name of the company. We'll just call them Torpedo. Another one might be going through a local real estate
I'm going to start doing that. Torpedo mortgage.
You know, so there's different things. Because you have to remember, when I go through Torpedo, I know historically, from my experience, they come in low.
Appraisal.
Yeah.
On the appraisals.
I had an issue with that with Anthony.
Right.
Dude, I was like, what's up with and Jordan was like, yeah, I wish you would have let me know. Like he's like, yeah, we would have.
So, I mean, every offer is a little bit different. And again, you try to do this on a for sale by owner basis, you have no clue what questions to ask.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing as a listing agent. It's not about just the offer. It's about making sure you can pick the offer that gets to the closing table.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Sure.
And
Sure.
if you know, hey, it's a great offer, we're never getting it to the closing table. It's way over what it's going to appraise for. You know, so and that's a trick that a lot of agents use, that it's smart if the listing agent doesn't know better.
He tried to do that with my sister's, the house she bought. It was Veride. I like him. I like Veride. He's I won't pick up the phone if I don't have half hour to talk to the dude. Like he does not stop talking. I like him, but he's a good guy. I like him a lot. And another offer wrote him. What did they offer? It was like 50 over asking.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, come on, what do you think? I just got in the business yesterday. And that was and I was like, I think I even called you on that.
You did.
And he's like, trust me. He's like, trust me. I know the appraiser or something. And I was like, is that, can they legally? He's like, well, it's not illegal. It's just stupid. Like you can't. Yeah. No one's going to accept that offer because you will inevitably encounter appraisal issues. Yeah. So if the listing agent is dumb enough to go for it, then shame on them.
Correct.
Well, yeah, and Jeff was not. So
yeah.
Jeff.
But yeah, no, that's the thing is people who do it, and I'm like, you really think that's going to appraise for that? Like, what's the point?
And they know it's not. Because
they
just want to get the
They
offer
just want to push everyone out. They want exclusivity.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely. FHA, yeah, so let's what are these comments? Unpopular. I think folks getting fed up with the process is what caused so many to get locked in at hundreds of thousands over. Oh my gosh. Shut up.
Go back on the
different
porch.
Canary 6. Yeah, you are a different Canary 648. They're just tired of it and willing to pay anything to get into it. That's not how it works. That's like this is what people think. They think that I'll just offer several $100,000 over and the bank will approve. Like they're not going to do that.
Right.
Like so that's not for sure. We are definitely mindful of our offers and have been bidding on our houses $50K under our limit. I'm really not trying to. You're doing okay. 100% agree. I was saying this back in 20. Buy now or be priced out forever. When everyone else thought markets don't work that way. Anyway, well, we're gonna move on because, dude, these guys. I see. Here's my beef with Reddit.
People take their advice seriously.
Well, they're like, yeah. I mean, it's just for all we know, how many of these are bot accounts? Aggravating Guitar 883. Michigan is really tough. I looked for about 6 months before I found something. Ended up buying off market. Like I like at least social media because then I can be like, all right, let me go consider the source. Oh, this guy 4 posts ago, this guy was sharing some nonsense. So yeah, I'm not going to take what she has to say very seriously. All right, convince me that home buying right now isn't a scam. Context: married, 27, female, 29, male. Combined gross income $140. Located in Chicago northwest suburbs. Currently paying $1,800, including all utilities for rent. We're trying to decide if we buy a house in 26 or 27. However, we're looking for a $350K, 3-bed, 1-bath home. The monthly mortgage comes out to about $3K with a 6.7 rate. I can't even fathom that. I was going to say $1,800. They're in at probably an all right rent. In Northwest Chicago.
But that includes all their utilities too.
That's
including
good.
all utilities.
That's good.
So I feel like we'd have a tiny amount of money left over. My reasoning or feeling like home buying is actually a scam is A, you don't actually own your home for 30 years. You okay over there, Jim? You're gonna be okay. Let me finish. People saying rent increases but mortgage doesn't, yet my friend's taxes went from 4K to 8K. They got them capped. One day, if you can't afford the property tax, you have to sell. Yeah, you get equity. It's an asset, but that really only matters if you plan on selling your home later. No, you could have a home equity line. What if you're looking for a forever home? There's no such thing. Can anyone convince me this isn't a scam?
I like that she's 26 talking about buying her first home and at her forever home. I thought that was kind of funny.
Let's attack these point by point. So scam is
it's a scam.
Scam is word.
Yeah,
it's a
scam.
It's a scam. Yeah, it's a scam. Everyone, it's a scam. So scam is a word that broke people use. I personally, I don't like unless something is truly fraudulent, like oh, dude, I so almost got us canceled. I'm caught myself. There's, dude,
Thank you, Lord.
There's a very popular acronym group that was like a scam. Like it was fraudulent, completely defrauding of every supporting member. That's the money didn't go towards what they said it went towards.
Oh yeah. That 3-letter one.
Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly.
That is a scam.
No, I know.
That's a scam. Dude, man, we would have just had to walk away like that. We would have had to end the show and be like, "Thank you guys, but we're gonna never be back on air."
Yeah.
Millions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would also say there even like TV preachers, right?
That's who I was thinking of.
Who take money and they're like, this is God's work, and then they spend it on jets and boats and things.
I need another Gucci
That's
belt, man.
fraudulent. That's fraudulent behavior.
That's blasphemy.
Right. So that's fraudulent behavior. So to say that home buying is a scam. What is the scam? What are you buying? What are you being sold that you're buying that you didn't actually false premise? Thank you. So,
I'm not quite concerned. Yeah, where do you get, like you just said?
Yeah,
and I'm not trying to be repeating, but repetitive. But what was the scam? You own it. yes, there's a cost of ownership. I mean, that's like your car. You can buy it outright, pay cash for it. You still got to do oil changes and maintenance. There's still things you don't. I mean, and if you don't,
and you'll have to buy another one soon.
right? And you still have to put tags on it. So if you don't,
Yeah.
So the one thing that this poster isn't thinking of is her rent, like we kind of discussed already, is extremely on the cheap side. If you're getting
It's very affordable. Yeah, it's yeah.
So here's what happens to a lot of renters. The landlord who owns her building is deciding he wants to sell now because of XYZ reasons. You know, Jerry owns the building, renting it to me for $1,800. But when you buy it from Jerry, your tax is uncapped, your interest rate, you've got all these things. Guess what? Your prices, I'm just letting you know, are going to double next year.
Okay, so right now I'm looking at a building, right? And for a rental. And it's...
Remind me of a commercial. I got to tell you all about one. Keep going.
And the same thing's happening, right? The total rents on it right now are $42.50, I think, are the total rents on
It's
it.
like a strip mall or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a small one. And doing my numbers,
Yep.
I went to the biggest person that takes up the most space in there, and I told him, like, your rent, I'm letting you know now, you're under market. And if I end up buying this, they already knew, and they already said, yeah, we figured as much. I'm like, just because, I mean, for me to make make it profitable for me, to make it worth my while, your rent's going to go up probably $500.
Yep.
And they said, yeah, we expected it. I said, it just, again, because taxes get uncapped, my interest rate's different, and I'm paying more. This person has owned the strip mall for 30 years, you know?
Well, that's a I was thinking about that. It's not a phenomenon, but it certainly plays a factor in pricing. In pricing of, well, it also plays a factor in the residential side too. Like
absolutely.
If you've got a whole bunch of, in terms of affordability, and this is the amount of agents who don't calculate taxes.
New taxes.
Uncapped taxes,
Yeah.
right? Yes, uncapped taxes into the purchase price. I mean, you can have guys. I'll use Anthony. Anthony had to sell the next year. Or chose to sell. He could have made it work, but it was like an extra $250 or $300 a month. And when you're already like at the tippy top of your perceived budget, then like, well, I wish I had known that. And so that could, if you have a whole.
Now, you didn't sell him that one.
No, he used a different agent.
Smartened up, use you.
Who didn't explain it, and then he's like, "Hey, dude, what do you think?"
Well, shame on him because he knew another agent. So he. Just
I don't
chose.
think when he bought, I don't. That's true. Yeah.
Oh no,
yeah, that's true. Yeah. So that yeah.
So if you're listening, Anthony, it's your fault.
Yeah. So that he called me. He's like, "Hey, dude, my payment went up. Can you look into it?" And I didn't have to. I was like, "It's probably your taxes." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And they just didn't know. We had a guy at the gym. Like he had to cancel his membership because his taxes went up. He could afford the membership before his taxes got capped. Now they're like an extra $350. He's like, "Can I dispute it?" I said, "I've never heard of anyone successfully disputing that."
Your taxes?
Yeah.
You can, and that, I mean, we can do that next week, or I don't know if next week, depending on where it falls, but we can absolutely.
Have you won?
Absolutely.
Oh wow.
Absolutely.
One thing that I will mention too, because I've known actually a couple people now recently that this is happening to, and I'm telling all my buyers this: start checking your escrow departments and your accounts and making sure the numbers are matching up. Because what happens is your mortgage company shorts your escrow. And now, not only do you have to catch up because your taxes were actually $3,000, not $2,000. Now we've got to catch up from the last year because we didn't calculate it. So you've got people that they're $1,200 to $1,500, or what?
Yeah.
What did his go to?
About that.
So,
it went from 8 to 12.
Yeah, or $800 to $1,200. You're talking that's a 30% increase on your mortgage because your what do you call it? Your escrows numbers were messed up and they were short. And
so you're saying
your taxes are $3,000.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm the mortgage company. I'm only factoring that they're $2,000. At the end of the cycle, when I have to pay taxes, I'm $1,000 short. I'm gonna pay it because it's my mess up, but I'm gonna go collect the difference from you because we messed up and we need to collect the back.
Wouldn't that
taxes.
Wouldn't that have been caught at closing when you're calculate? Because you can calculate out what the payment's going to be. Wouldn't that have been caught at closing or no?
So they calculate at closing
Yeah.
what your taxes are.
Are.
What they typically do
And they
is
take
in
into-
an escrow, they collect extra to collect in the escrow. So because they know when the tax bill comes due, it's going to be increased.
Yeah.
They didn't on this transaction. And then what they ended up doing was, so they shorted, I'll say shorted, his payment was $100 less than what it should have been. And plus his taxes went up. So there was about another 120.
Yeah, I can't remember what
Something
the
like
exact
that.
numbers was.
So you add the two together, he was like $300 payment went up. So even I was like, okay, give me all your documents. Let me look at them. And that's what happened. His payment was lower than it should have been. And plus they didn't take into consideration it getting uncapped. I mean, it was a cluster, but it was all on the bank, to be honest with you. But unfortunately, so now he's got to get double hit for a 12-month period of time.
Backdated.
To get it backdated
Yeah.
and caught up, and then next year his payment should drop down about $125.
Jeez.
But
That's
it's still a cluster, and if you're younger, you're living on a budget, it can put a cramp in your lifestyle easy.
Sure. I know on the same point, if your rent is dramatically under market, like I know a girl, one of our purple belts, I need to see how she's doing. She pays $700 in rent.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Stay there until they raise.
I was like, any property you buy, your taxes are going to be pretty much $500, $450 a month, so just stay there, like legit. Because she taught, I was like, there's no reason you should be buying right now, and unless you had a good reason to, right? Getting married, kid, whatever. Like unless you need to. So, now what's the
$700 a month? Where's she? I'm just kidding.
I it's downriver
Yeah,
somewhere.
no, it's-
Yeah. So you get equity. It's an ass. So you're just because a lot of times I will say, someone put in here the markets don't always favor buying. That's I can't think of an example on the residential side, but I know Alvarez was his Coach Danny down in
Texas?
Arlington.
Yeah.
Hot market, yeah. And someone knew, like I think a mom and an old man had just an individual who owned his complex, and then he sold it to like PE or something, and dude, like the rent
Crazy.
doubled.
Yeah.
Like it went up, I want to say 15. It went up $8,000. Sorry, so it went from 8 to like 15 or 16. So he's like, I gotta move, right? And he had a big space, and so I got to downsize. And he was looking to buy because he's like, I'm gonna move, I as well buy. The math didn't make sense because anything he would buy for like equivalent size was. The note would have been about the same, as opposed to renting. So renting something with, we'll call it 10,000 square feet, was like $8,000. I'm mixing up my numbers. So renting an 10,000 square foot space would have been $8,000 in rent or $16,000 note for mortgage. It literally didn't make any sense. And I was like, oh, that doesn't, because at least it's close. Like around here in Michigan, a lot of times, not always, your mortgage is going to be at maybe a little bit above what rent would be. Same with residential, same with commercial. I want to point out, do you remember that that animal clinic we were looking at for the Southgate gym?
Yeah.
It's for sale.
But
I look because I remember we tried to track down the holdings company for it.
talk to me in 6 months.
Yeah. It's overpriced at the moment.
I bet it's.
Yeah, they.
I'm guessing 4 million.
No, it's not that overpriced. It's 12,000 square feet.
Oh, it's only 12.
Yeah.
I thought it was bigger than that.
It looks bigger. No, it's 12,000 square feet. What do you think they're asking?
2.5.
You said 12,000.
I'm just guessing. I have no idea.
And it's got some land a little bit. I don't know how much.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
It's
so I'm
on Eureka and Allen, there's an urgent care. You know where Amigos was, right? At Eureka and Allen.
Yeah.
Turn left Like you're going towards the mall?
West. Yeah, so west.
So you're going towards the mall? Okay.
Yeah, on the right-hand side, there's...
right before the bridge?
Yeah.
On the north side. It was an old animal veterinarian clinic.
Oh, so that's back where like the dentist was, the orthodontist.
Yes.
Because I got my braces.
There used to,
not my
there
braces,
used,
but my
once upon a
Invisalign.
time, yeah. So now it's
What was his name?
12,000 square feet. And I'll let you take a guess.
I was trying to think of my dentist's name.
I know. So
See, but the problem with that is whoever buys it is probably going to have to gut the
a
entire
complete gut.
thing.
It's a complete gut. Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
I'll stick with 2.
$1 million.
They're asking 1.5.
Okay, so right.
I was going to say 1.2, but
I think 1 to 1.1 is really because you're going to have to demo. It's all built out for like animal clinic. We took our dog there one time, and it was just like animal clinic stuff. And in fact, I installed their back doors on that
did
building.
you?
Yeah. So at least
the
back doors are done well. So they. But yeah, that's and it was just put on. But we chased them down, dude. Like we got
California,
to like the VP, and I was like, hey, you guys are spending $25,000 a year on this building.
Taxes.
Yeah. Do you know any are you trying to sell it? And they're like, we don't even know what you're talking about. They couldn't even find it. I was like, California money, dog.
Yeah.
Like that it was a big.
Can you imagine having that much kind of money? You just don't even know what properties
we
you
had to
own.
track it down on LinkedIn. I had to track down the VP on LinkedIn.
Yeah, because I think we went and we found out who the
LLC
was.
Yeah, we forewarned. We did some work. We did some private eye stuff on that, and they were just like, I don't know.
They were not even interested. They could care less.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's what I've seen with commercial is a lot of times they don't care. They don't care. They're just like, whatever. We'll let it sit. So let it sit. All right. We have agents, please stop doing this with listing photos. Signed, every exhausted buyer from Efficient Homework 350.
I like this one.
Yeah.
I agreed with them.
I've been scrolling listings for months, and I swear I can tell purely from photos whether I'm about to see a normal house or drive 40 minutes to get catfished by a spacious quote-unquote spacious 9x9 bedroom shot with a lens borrowed from NASA. Here's what actually makes me book a showing and what makes me instantly hit back. So is this an agent?
No.
Honestly,
it's a buyer.
How is she booking? So
I think she's just calling her agent.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When listing is good, it feels like the seller agent is saying, here's the house. Come see if it works for you. When it's bad, it feels like, here's a magic trick. Yeah. Don't look behind the curtain. The stuff that never wins me over. No, stuff that wins me over. Natural light that looks real. Not the Twilight vampire set where every photo is taken at 7:58 p.m. with a purple sky and the lawn glowing like it's radioactive. Just open the curtains. Let the house look like it does on a normal Tuesday. Furniture that helps me understand scale. I don't need staging worthy of Architectural Digest. I just want to know if my couch fits without blocking every doorway. If every room is empty and shot ultra wide, congrats. You've created a fun guessing game I didn't ask for. A floor plan. The biggest shut up and take my showing feature. Even a basic one. Photos can be pretty. But a floor plan answers the real question. Where does that hallway go? Why does the kitchen seem far away? Is the only path. And then photos that make sense. Start outside. Walk me through the main spaces, then bathroom, baths, yard, basement. When it's organized, I trust it more. When it's like backyard, toilet close-up, ceiling fan, mysterious corner of a closet, front exterior, I assume something is being actively avoided. So I'm going to pause. She has a list of things that make her skip immediately. When is the MLS going to allow videos?
Well, they do.
So, no, but he's talking about it. They allow video link.
Well, that's what I was.
It's not like easy.
It is not.
It's not easy. It's really not.
Because here's the thing, too. And honestly, that's a whole different. But, because the other thing is,
who do we got to talk to, Mr. President?
I'm done. Don't talk to me.
he's
got 6 days.
Anyways, it's on the client side. So and I just ran into an issue. There's photo descriptions on the agent side in the MLS. Mm-hmm. When you click on a photo, you'll notice sometimes it's got like something underneath and it says a little description about the photo.
Right.
We made a rule. Well, if you did anything AI Photoshop in the picture, you have to put in the description.
In our brokerage?
No, at the board.
Oh, okay.
So, and it's fairly new. However, no client can see that. Only agents do. So I was talking to the board, So we made a rule so we don't get sued, for the clients to be able to know that what's AI and what's not.
Watermarked.
And that's what it's going to have to be watermarked, because you can't put it on the description, because the description doesn't go to the Collab Center. The description doesn't go to Zillow or Realtor.com or any third-party site. So cool, we put a photo description that doesn't, go anywhere, where only agent sees, and it's supposed to be there for clients to see, to not get sued.
Yeah, because like where can they do the videos? Because I know it's like a link somewhere, and it's not even on
and
the
you
MLS.
can't find it, and that's my point. And that's where it goes back to, you can't find it.
I paid for like a video. This is before I knew.
Yeah.
I paid like I paid like $400 for like a videographer to come through with like drone foot. Like, it was a sweet promo. It only ended up on social media.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like how can that just?
So next time, you actually can go to Zillow directly and upload the video. So at least it'll be on Zillow. Zillow allows you, if you have an agent profile and you've connected it and everything already. So even if you haven't done that yet, you just have to go do that. Then it knows that it's your listing.
What about Realtor.com?
I don't know. I know Zillow has updated it where you can. I don't know about Realtor.
That's the thing that bothered me.
Well, it was the same thing. I bought, Matterport, the 3D virtual tours.
Yeah.
So I bought, 5-6 years ago when they first came out. I bought the camera because it was like $2,500.
Wow.
And there was a monthly subscription on it, but then I can do this for my entire office.
Yeah.
Well, I bought it because thinking this is going to be the new craze thing.
Sure.
It takes 24 hours to turn around to create the thing. When I bought it was COVID. Houses weren't lasting 24 hours.
Yeah.
Problem one. Problem two, I had the same issue. I could put it on the MLS, but then the client's not going to know how to view it because there's nowhere to view it on the client side. Zillow didn't allow it. Zillow now allows it, but of course I've sold the camera. But yeah, that was the exact same reason why I ended up selling the camera and never using it. I literally did it on like 3 listings, and because it was, the clients can't see it. So cool. We've got this technology that should be able to be easily viewed in the MLS. But, I mean, we've talked about that. I don't even know how many times about how.
What's the hang up? Like, is it just tech? Is it the investment?
I honestly don't know. I mean, I don't.
We have to remember, our MLS, we don't own the MLS. 99%, I would say. I don't want to say 99%. A vast majority of realtor associations do not own their MLS.
Who owns it?
It's a software program, that we use, kind of like
buy licensing for,
like your taxes. What's tax thing? What's the big tax?
TurboTax.
Like TurboTax, right?
Oh wow.
So we use a company. It's called Paragon. Paragon provides the MLS for over 50%. Just that one company. They're the largest MLS provider to realtors. So we use Paragon.
Paragon's app is the worst.
And then there's different levels of Paragon, just like if you have different levels of a Chrysler, Ford, or GM. Are you, are you driving the cheapest one, or are you going to be driving the most expensive one? And to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure what level we have at our association, but we have Paragon.
Clearly the technology exists because Zillow is doing it, and I think it kind of harms the image of a real estate professional when the consumer has got the consumer's got Zillow or Realtor it integrates, right? But they can see if a for sale by owner, they can do all that. And then we're like, well, here you get our MLS listings emailed to you every day, and it's just it's very visibly archaic. It's given off certainly late 90s, early 2000s Windows kind of appeal,
yeah.
Right? And clearly the tech's out there. The tech is out there.
And that's where Zillow started, and that was their entire thing, was making it customer. Right, agents didn't like Zillow. Agents, even now, it's pretty split. A lot of agents don't, some do, whatever. But the client side of things, that's where they excel, and that's where and for whatever reason,
user friendly.
That's just not. I don't even say the focus. They just don't even care on the professional side, or not the professional, but the our side, and
They're consumer driven.
yeah, Zillow's
Definitely.
more consumer driven, where that's what they want. They only care about. I don't say they only care about, but that's their main focus and goal.
Well, if their
that.
whole because their money generating activity is to get the consumers there and then sell the information to agents,
Which we provided them for free.
What?
all the listing information,
Which we give them for free.
Oh, Zillow.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, because right, yeah.
That's a whole other animal we can discuss.
Imagine if you started.
Shutting them off?
Imagine
You can.
if you turn.
You
Well,
can.
if
On
you
an
can.
individual basis, you can.
You-
In an
there's a-
individual office basis, you can.
On your
would a lawsuit?
So,
So imagine if just imagine if C-Bar, just like boom, we're not integrating with Zillow.
there are associations that have shut Zillow off.
yeah. So
And that's why sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't say we've talked about it. It's been talked about. However, when we're looking at it from a board level, your board B and I'm just our board. Your board allows Zillow and Realtor.com and everything else. Our board doesn't. I'm coming to the listing appointment to list Jerry's house. I'm telling you, yep, we're going to put it on the MLS, blah, 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 and everything like that. You come to him next and say, oh, yeah, you're talking to Jordan. That's cool, but you do realize your house isn't going to be on Zillow. Your house isn't going to be on Realtor.com or anything else. As a client, what do you think the client is going to say? Okay, so you're not putting it on Zillow because why? Your board doesn't allow it? Okay, sorry. I'm going with Dave because
yeah,
he's...
it would need to be.
Yeah, now you're getting into
But
the
now
lawsuit.
you're getting into lawsuits because now you're
That's when the lawsuit applies.
price.
Because no,
You're
you're
not-
not
you're
antitrust.
yeah. Because now you're
I'm going to this board and saying, hey, you follow this and we'll do this. And now the entire state's doing it, and now Zillow's going to sue us for.
What if
XYZ.
they just and you can't all agree to try to just charge Zillow?
You can't. Well, but now you're going back to collusion, and that's that's what they say. That's what they said going back to the lawsuit 2 years ago. Is real estate agents all colluded and charged the exact same commission
Yeah.
of 6%?
Yeah. Lies.
Okay, well the average commission was like 5.6 something.
Such a
So
cluster.
I don't know how you got that if the average is 5 two random numbers. If everyone charges 6, then the average is going to be 6 because
Right.
I guess we're collusion. But
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, that's
what I
what's
find
gonna happen.
comical are the attorneys that brought this lawsuit.
Oh yeah, they walked away with.
No, they do it. Not the attorneys. Well, he helped, but
But this was the
the
Department of Justice that did this. But no, what I'm saying is the attorneys. I don't know if you. Well, I have, but if you deal with attorneys, they all charge 1/3 for a lawsuit. They all want 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So if you want to talk collusion, we'll talk about collusion. But and if I go into our MLS right now, I can show you, and I'm not exaggerating. Well, now I can't show you
How are
any.
you going to get an attorney?
Well, that's
to
that's it, right?
prosecute
They're
against
never
attorneys.
they're never going to do it.
You need to get a bunch of nerds who know law.
Before they took it out of the MLS, I could have gone into the MLS and I could have shown you at a minimum
somebody who offers $1, 2%, 2.5%,
5 different options.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you can never convince me that we colluded because
Right.
I've been doing this for 30 some years and I can tell you if I was ever in a room like this and one person said what we need to do for commission, you would have had every agent push himself away from the table and be like, see ya, and just start walking out the door because they didn't want any part of a collusion lawsuit because they knew that they would end up losing their license.
Sure.
They knew that they were going to end up in a lawsuit. Nobody ever talked about it. Now, within an office, I can, right? The broker can say, our policy is we're charging
sure.
this percent
Yeah.
or a flat fee, whatever. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I think we got one more.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say really quickly. Just so you know too, the person who brought the lawsuit to realtors on the commissions, he now runs a transaction management company for real estate.
Of course he does. Talk me out of a barndominium. Are there any real drawbacks? This is a selfish selection by me. Amanda is in love with barndos, and I've told her it's just a barn. It's a cheaper way to build.
Talk her out of it.
Are there any real drawbacks? It's a cheaper way to build big and spacious. Says who?
Yeah, that's
like. Are you gonna like? And this is 2 years ago, so.
I think it's a fad.
Yeah,
I think it's a fad.
One thing that
I think it's going to be one of those things that like you look back and they're like, oh, back when everyone was into barndos, and I think they're cool. Well,
they're cool.
So a true barndominium is a lot different than a farmhouse, and I think that's what a lot of them they're just modern farmhouses. Like they're just like modern farm, and I blame Chip and Joanna Gaines partially, right? But they're not really barndominiums anymore. They're just a different style of architecture of home, maybe more of a farmhouse style. But anyone who wanted like a big 10,000 square foot blueprint with a loft, I mean, if that's what you want to live in, I suppose. But like,
right.
Wasn't there an issue with like financing it? Like, because they're not. Didn't I hear that banks were like, they're like, yeah, once they hear it's a barndo, it's like.
I don't know because I haven't dealt with.
You haven't counted them.
Yeah, but I mean, just on a personal level, I guess, and on a professional level, you're going to be limiting yourself on the potential buyers on a resale value. And then I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it as, man, that's a lot of wasted
heating and
cooling. I mean, because on a true barndominium, you're looking at probably 20-foot ceilings, all vast open space.
On a true barndo, yeah. On a true barndo, so
and you're just wasting that heat and cool.
So my sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
My boy they built again. It's a farmhouse. It's not a barndominium. It's a farmhouse, but it's on a slab with radiant heated floors, and so it's like sprayed foam. I want to say it's 2x6 construction, drywall, not 20-foot ceilings, like 10, 12. They're probably 12. But it's radiant and it's on a well.
Oof.
So that's pretty sick. So the water is, I'm not going to say it's free, but water comes in, tankless water heater, radiant heated floors, goes up.
That's nice.
Yeah, but it certainly wasn't
cheap.
I mean,
I was just going to say, what did that cost to build?
Okay, so they got it, dude. Yeah, I mean, he started building this in 2020, and I think he got the price locked in. I think he was all in at like $320. If you
That's how many square feet?
Just under 3,000. It might be
on his property. What was the exterior?
So this is up in Midland.
Aluminum.
This is up near Midland. The exterior is probably aluminum, like what do they call it? Batten. That vertical siding, but it's aluminum. No, it's probably vinyl. I take it back. It's vinyl, but again, I think she's just got some Amish framers out there, and they came out and they framed it up real quick, and he was locked in at.
Did he do any of himself?
They did a lot of it himself.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
I mean, sure.
Mike and them plumbed it. Like he ran.
I mean, he had to do all his heating, flooring. He did
probably
himself.
did $70,000 of the plumbing himself.
Well, that makes sense then. I mean, because now you're at,
Yeah, but to, like I see houses equivalent to it now listed for $657 all over the New Boston.
Yeah.
Like they're all over there. I do think so. This one says I just recently built one for a customer. Their goal was to save money on the build. I think it only saved them a handful of dollars. And in my opinion, they immediately lost in resale. In equity in a very rural setting, or someone that someone that quickly needs a large shop and a house built at the same time, it isn't a terrible option, but otherwise I'd advise against it. Anyone who wants a house takes a certain demographic to want a barndominium. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that your piece of the pie for a barndominium is so slim, because to me, anybody that wants that is somebody that maybe loves cars, right, and wants that almost in their living room, because they have the 67 Shelby GT350, they have the ZR1 Corvette, C8, they have the Ferrari, and they have a Lambo sitting there, and they're all in the living room, and you're with the 20-foot ceilings. And
I don't know anybody with a Ferrari, Lambo, and a Shelby that's living in a barndominium. Just saying. They're a little bit more fancy. I'm just joking.
This says, do you think you'll ever need to sell your home if you build something unique, barndominium, castle, farm, lighthouse, etc.? Have you seen that spherical home? It looks like a golf ball.
Are you talking about the one in like New Boston? Is it in New
Yes,
Boston?
yes,
So
yes.
so there's a house
Yes.
right across the street. I looked at that, and it was a tear down. Like when I'm saying tear down, I mean that house should have been torn down 20 years ago. And my buyer was seriously looking at it. I'm like, dude, like you're buying vacant land here. Like that's all this thing's worth.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But the house across the street, that thing looked like a.
It looked like what's the Epcot?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Epcot ball.
yeah. And so
Cut in half.
I think it's cool, but I'm not sure. Like that's what I want to come home to. Like
and I mean they had a cool. If it's the same one, which I'm guessing it is, they had like a cool wraparound deck around it.
I just drove past it. Is it? Oh boy,
that's something he wanted to buy.
So that
Victorian castle.
So that castle was in Van Wert where I grew up, and I going to school, and I always thought, man, I'm going to buy that house. I want to buy that house someday. I want to own that. Well, about 15, 20 years ago.
Can you text that to the group? I'll see if I can put it on this. I'll see if I can put it on the
about
screen.
15, 20 years ago,
You want a castle?
it came up for sale, and so it's like 3,500 square feet. I can't remember, something like that. 10 bedrooms. It had like 8 fireplaces. And it was $135,000.
Wow.
That was it. So I called Sherry. I said, I'm going to buy this house. I sent her the picture, and she was like, no, you're not. I don't want to live in Van Wert, Ohio. So I'm like,
well, you're in the middle of nowhere there, too.
Well, that's what she's like. You're in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, I can turn it into an Airbnb. This would be a cool Airbnb. Well, she won. I didn't buy it. So she crashed my dreams of owning my own little castle.
I don't have the picture.
I'm
yet,
like,
but it's a castle. Like it's a Victorian castle.
But it's a beautiful little castle. I sent it.
I haven't got it yet.
It's still sending.
Okay, no problem.
But I mean, I'm like, how many women would say no to their own little castle? But she said no.
She's.
And whoever bought it,
she's a country girl.
Redid it. And man, did they do a good job?
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty dope looking.
Yeah. No longer 150,000 either.
All right. Well, okay. So I'll be sure to give Amanda the feedback on the barndominiums. Other than that, I am out of town next week.
I was just gonna say, what's next?
So
week?
I'm next week. I mean, it's the week after Christmas. Yeah, Christmas is in 3 days. I didn't realize that. Holy cow!
It's the 29th.
Yeah, Christmas is in 3 days, and so. I will be out of town next week. There'll be no podcast, but there'll be, obviously, we post clips of these things going on. If you guys have, I'm sure you guys are as well, having conversations, people looking to list next year. I got a condo coming up. Where is it? Melvindale.
I got a condo in Trent.
Do you? Yeah.
I was going to ask you about that. I forgot. Are you going to list it or not?
I've got to ask, but I'll talk to you about it after.
But yeah, guys, we hope, wish you all a very Merry Christmas. And if you guys, of course, have any questions about anything real estate, want to see what you can get pre-approved for, even just run over, your budget and kind of like do planning for next year. Any one of us, pick your favorite. We can help you out, and we won't take offense to it. So we'll see you guys next week. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and
Merry Christmas.
a Happy New Year.